It was just the one topic over and over again, so hopefully that helped.
Yeah.
Rather than changing topics 5 and 6 and 7 times.
Right, yeah, really.
I like to err on the side of that rather than, we probably could have had things like linear regression, other crazy stuff. What was your least favorite problem?
The middle one.
What was the middle one?
The solar eyebrow.
Solar eyebrow.
Oh. Yeah, that one.
As a hippie, I abhor that you don't like that problem. No, I'm kidding. So, okay, so that was number 2.
Well, I have a question. Were the pictures supposed to match up? Like, that's what was... Like,
no, it says somewhere there wasn't the scale.
Well, I know, but like, the sun was coming from one end, and then it was hard to like, picture. It was... I don't know.
Well, you had to kind of turn your head sideways. I laid it down.
I was trying, I was like going around and around.
Take a look at the break, actually.
But which one were you talking about? Like, because you turned it, so I wasn't sure. I assumed you were talking about the one that has A, B, C labeled. Because this is the reverse, you know, the flip.
It's laid down.
Right. But this is the one you were wanting the answers to.
Well, that's the one that you were doing your work on-ish.
Okay.
Because it was too busy up top to do. It was too small and too busy.
Good.
So, okay, so that was your least favorite. Okay. How was the, I forget the order. Was Pilot Butte the first one?
Yeah.
Pilot Butte okay?
Yeah.
Decent? And the last one was the rolling down the hill?
I like that one. I live at
like that one best.
So I couldn't really get to it. Like, I thought I was all done. I was going to do it all at home, you know. And I don't have internet out there. So I was like, oh, crud, we have to look at YouTube. So what I did later was the next day, I just wrote it down. And then I took the date at home.
Oh, good. Fantastic. Good. Which is, Josh, you've explained exactly why I post things 3 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah,
so that you can find, oh no, I mean, that's the reason. So you can find the 20 minutes you need over the course of those 3 weeks to do that. Right. Yeah, exactly. Good.
Was that the song that you wrote that was playing during the video?
Yeah, that was the one that YouTube blocked and said I can't use. Yes. So it just got boring having 2 minutes of me riding my bike downhill. And the soundtrack wasn't, the soundtrack of my bike tire rolling wasn't that much fun either. So I figured I'll use a song that YouTube won't block, something that I wrote. Silly me. Silly me. I'll break my camera? It's okay.
Block the audio.
What's that?
Block the audio.
I know. Well, you know, it's funny. It depends on the venue. Because back in the day, I used to do that. Sometimes they block the audio, sometimes they grab the video, sometimes they let you keep everything but put a link to the song in the video, which I think they did in that one. Was there an ad on that video?
No.
There was?
I didn't really know.
Now, my question is, who's getting the revenue from that ad? Because I'm not.
You can sign up. You can sign up.
I know you can. I know you can. But who's getting the revenue from an ad I didn't authorize on the song that I wrote? That says that as an artist, this is where I get pissed with the
That's YouTube's getting it, probably.
Yeah.
Right. I did. I sent them the BMI listing, and they put that out on it anyway. So
Zen.
I've been fighting this shit for 30 years as a recording musician. It's not worth it. I have to a point. Like, it's not got gray hair. All right. So, exams were decent. Okay, decent. Good. We'll take these. I'm gonna crack those things open this afternoon at 12:30 and start grading them. Hopefully, I'm hopeful I can get yours knocked out today. I did send you guys a progress report yesterday. Just because so many of you had an issue last week submitting to Blackboard, and you gave me a bunch of hard copies and stuff, and I knew that every progress report I was sending out didn't have, you guys had zeros in for that. So I'm like, I need to fix this. So I just got all the hard copies I had on my desk in, then shot you a progress report. So some of you got a duplicate from a couple days ago because you get the same information back. Next one that I send out will have at least your exam in it. Hopefully, whatever quizzes you. Did anybody do quizzes this week? You might not have. Oh, some of you did. Okay. You might not. I don't expect many of them to have been turned in because of the exam. But I wanted to have them there too. And I got an in-class one for us to do today together, which will also be fun. Yeah, Judy.
I was going to say, I think the reason why the solar eyebrow one was so complicated is because we were trying to take information from the first triangle and translate it into the one you drew on the bottom. And there wasn't, it's really hard to look at. I had a trouble with getting my sides mixed up. I did the entire problem, and then on the last problem, I realized I did the entire thing wrong because I switched up my sides in the beginning. And I had to go back.
Grab a break. Let's take a look at the pictures.
Yeah.
Because I was trying not to be confusing. I was trying to be clear. Let's take a look at the break, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it took, I had actually messaged my friend.
Just let me look.
Yeah.
Let me take a look with you. Because I'm not seeing it, but then I have to look at it with you. if you don't mind. It's like 2 minutes. We'll crack it open, take a look. Appreciate that. Question. Well, you know what? I'll ask that question later. That's a great noise. It was fantastic. It's like a Chewbacca sucking helium. It was wonderful. All right, let's get back to this bike. Let's get back to this bike problem we were working on last time, which is related tangentially, as no pun intended. It's actually we're going to have tangents talked about today, believe it or not. Rather than going off on a tangent, actually talk about a mathematical tangent. Related to what you did on the Facebook quiz from last week. If you did it, you might not have done it, that's totally fine. Linear regression idea. So, what I want to do is, I got to put the data back in my TI. You guys might have to as well. So here's the data we collected in class. I erased my list in 243 yesterday. If you don't have this data in your TIs, get it back, slap it into L1 and L2. You might not have it depending on what you just did with your TIs. I got to put it back in mine.
Oh, I still have mine.
You probably, I mean, you very well might, absolutely. I did not. So I'm going to go ahead and re-enter. I didn't mean to get all flustered. I've been fighting this battle for so long, and it drives me up the wall. So, apologies for letting it get to me there. If you already have the data in, you may have already run the regression as well and gotten the best fit curve. If you haven't, do it. If you forget how, we'll do it here together in a second. But what I want to see is, I want to see that scatter plot of the data, and then I want to see the curve of the results. And we talked last time about why the curve makes more sense than a line. Although I do want to go back talking about lines today, because I think lines are an important way to understand this. Scatter. There she is. Talk about that in a second too. Can I mute this and go back to the TI screen? No?
Yeah, I already had it in.
Yeah, it's coming back, it's coming back. 2.21, right in the point. And we'll get this in a second too on the machines. Make sure we're all in the same ballpark. Those of you that have this equation already, make sure you remember what it's telling you. Remember what it's telling you. How it differs from a linear equation. Why that makes sense with me rolling on my bike down a hill. Why that makes sense. You guys, I mean, this is all stuff you guys said in class last time. I want to make sure you remember it. That's all.